Okay, let's see what happens. Villa Ada. Try to tuck this up here. Okay, just a little bit here. Camera. Okay. This doesn't want to go. Okay, it's 5:30. Villa Ada. Sunday, 27 May. I was hesitant about coming here, but I decided to come. I'm not sure that it's the best place in the morning to see the sun, but I'm here to talk about my project, which has taken a great delay. The last video I tried to make a little bit of clarity with how to start, and I listened to the video, to the audio, mostly from the video, and tried to make sense of it. There's still a few problems. I actually had the first video ready to go, and I decided to not publish it. These are called big noses in Rome. A little lake. You can see maybe you can see the vapor coming off the water. So let's just say that the main problem is trying to define where this all comes from, where the idea of creativity is born. What is the first instance of creativity? And how did it happen? That particular problem cannot be addressed without having a consideration of the first creation, the initial creation, the universal creation, and thus defining creator and created. But that's not as difficult as it seems, because you have the idea of God, the idea of the created universe. We witness this. We are part of it. Everything that we surround ourselves with constantly reminds us of that. So, what I want to do is to try to talk through the idea of the created. There might be a little bit of sun. Created. What is created? Because it's really easy to say, okay, you are the artist, you are God, you create. And whatever you create is the created substance. But that's not the whole picture. Sleep, sleep tonight, and may your dreams be thunderclad places, let it rain, rain. Auditorio, yeah, Marino. I don't know why it's here. 85. Young. He died young. So what is created is also the artist. That's the main problem, is that we really cannot think about the artist in the same way that we can think of God. I think that, for me, sums up a little bit the confusion, because I cannot accept the fact that the artist is infinity. The artist cannot be infinity. The artist has no state that is really like the state of God. And so we need to analyze better the created. Che cos'hai? Fai vedere? Che cos'è? Hai una palla? Ma che cos'è questo? So this led me to start thinking about this created part and try to define the artist in the created part, because that seems to me much more appropriate. Given the fact that there can really not be any state that a created being has that in any way is similar to God. Okay, I don't know if this is coming out well. I don't know if it needs to be adjusted. I know that it's shooting high. Seems to be shooting high, but beautiful colors. We are in this world. We are part of this world. And for all of the freedom that we have in the world, there's nothing like the state of infinity. So what I want to do is look at how this process begins. Not so much looking at it from God's point of view, but trying to identify a role of the created being in this creation. So the first thing that I started to identify was, or talk about, was the idea of the vessel and the light. Because when light was created, this was the first instance of creation. And let's just say that the created being cannot really replicate that instance. So there is light and a vessel, and the vessel in the first instance is hidden. It's inside the light, like the candle within the flame. So it's encompassed. It's part of the light. And I think that this Apollo, I think this can be generalized or associated with the spark of creation. Let's say a created being can have this moment. If you could smell this. What a smell. So it's not so much as the surface of what is being created. This is happens inside the created being. And I think that we could say that that moment corresponds with the idea of creativity. There's something that comes out in our lives that is already in there. It's already planted. It just needs to be discovered. And that is that vessel. Whatever form it might take, that vessel is what art becomes. So, in the peeling away of this vessel, in its revealing state, that becomes the work of art. And so the first phase is really the pure sense of creativity. It's what gives the being, the created being, a desire to create. And I think here really what needs to be associated with this step is more of the first phase and the idea of Keter, the idea of Ein Sof, the light, all of the light. And this light is where the creation takes place. How we create. In what form. The desire that comes out and causes one person to want to create and another person to completely ignore this state. So, what does that mean for a person like me? I want to do a painting. Something comes in to my imagination, starts working. There's some kind of desire. The desire can be in many, many different forms, many art forms. It can come from many different stimulus. The most important factor is that you recognize that there is this desire, and the desire is about the vessel. The vessel comes out. I think I'll go back this other way. Well, no, Let's try one of these. No idea where I am. I wanted to be in the highest place. So in my case, I'm thinking about a painting that I can do that in some way generalizes all other paintings. And this is closed. Okay, yeah. Alright. Go back this way. I thought I wanted to be up in that area, but I don't know how to get up there. That's the horses. This is fenced off too. It's going down. So I've decided to do a portrait from memory, using as a backdrop the painting from Antonello Messina Ecce Homo, which is a painting of the face of Christ, just from the bust up. Oh, so many birds. It's dark down here, but there's light. So I'm going to walk through this process in a very coordinated way to try to define each step. And it's quite it's not a coincidence that I'm going through this first phase with a lot of questions, because I'm also not starting. So the first act is procrastination until I can define better this form, understanding the first phase, understanding the motivation of this process. And that is where I am right now. The first phase then really is, I don't know if it is the light of Chokmah. Because I don't quite understand yet if this is pure light or there that are already starting to work. For example, my mind's eye is seeing, in a way, how this painting is going to be. And I think that already is a step towards the vessel. And I think that's already a step towards what could be, the eruption of a new thing in the world. But going back to how this first state is not like God, I'm not really creating anything new. I'm taking what is already